All right. Spinning, 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 and now it's fine. So, hello, everybody. Today is day 5, part 5 of what it means to be a queen. What it means to be a queen. So, welcome again. If you're watching the replay, thank you for being here. Please type in hashtag replay, and I will acknowledge you and it'll bless me. Hope it blesses you to be here. All right. So today we're going to be continuing our discussion about what it means to be a queen, and the reason I'm doing this is because I actually some of you have heard this, maybe you haven't yet, but some of you, but I have heard from the Lord in my time. I get divine downloads, I get inspiration. There is a work that God is doing in the world, but also amongst women. And he's calling women to rise up. He's calling women up to ascend from their normal places, their routines, to see themselves as a higher level being. They have a higher way of thinking, a higher way of being, a higher way of manifesting what it is that they truly desire, what their hearts desire. And a lot of times things just get in our way. Things just get in our way. We lose perspective. I'm still growing in this. Yeah, I am. I'm still growing in this. I can share what I know, and I'm continuing to grow, evolve, and to rise, right? Some of you may be way above me in all of this. But for those of you who are feeling the call to rise up and to be taken in choosing higher ground. All right. It's not just a passive thing. We have to choose higher ground to rise and to ascend into higher ground. Hello, my honey. I'm glad you're able to find the broadcast. Yeah. So hang on a second. All right. So, yeah, I'm doing this for that reason because it's God's plan. I'm excited about it. I'm inspired by it. So therefore, I am joining it, right? He has given me the go ahead. So I am, yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right. Um, Today, I want to do some recapping of this week because there's a lot of concepts that we talked about. But before I do, I want to just tell you this. Um, You know, life is made up of a series of decisions and mostly really small, minuscule, subtle, even undetectable decisions. We're constantly making decisions. Now, the more conscious we are about the decisions we make, the more, and to live a life of choice, all right, choosing our decisions rather than be forced into decisions, rather than have our backs up against a wall. When we are queens and living in and fully expressing ourselves as queens, one of the things that a queen does is she makes decisions, sometimes hard decisions, sometimes fast decisions, but she's more conscious of her decisions than not. Okay? So before we get into the recap, let me just share a little something here about that. Today, I woke up, and as you know, some of you know that I'm doing 75 Hard, which is an okay program, a challenging program, a difficult program, an easy program. It has all those elements in it. But today, I was a little tired. Part of the reason is that I didn't do so well on my water. We have to, part of the agreement, this is all by agreement, nobody has a gun to our head. So if you're going to do the program, you agree to certain things. And I agreed to drink a gallon of water a day. I've been doing that. I'm on, I think today is maybe 34, 35. I'm not positive, but somewhere in there. And so every day I drink a gallon of water. Well, if I don't get that water in early enough, like if I don't stop drinking water by like 9 o'clock, then and I got to finish it. And last night I had to actually stay up till almost 10:30, 11 o'clock, finishing my water, right? Well, I'm up every 2 hours. I'm up every 2 hours peeing. Yes, that's what I'm doing. So my sleep was interrupted a lot last night. So, what does that have to do with being a queen? Well, I thought to myself, I'm too tired. I don't want to do today's broadcast. And then the thoughts go, and who's going to care anyway? I didn't like make a contract here. You just said you were going to do it. So it's not a big deal if you don't do it. And I'm kind of into that frame of mind. I've been in that frame of mind for a while. Like, if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. I have said that multiple times to people. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. Right. However, the way that I've been growing this year is that is true. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it unless I decide to do it. And I said yes. That's the only reason I was doing the 75 hard and I continue to, is because I said yes. And a queen keeps her word. And I did say, whether anybody heard it or not isn't even important. But I did say yesterday, I'm doing a broadcast today, right? So it isn't, the point isn't, is this an important broadcast to do? Are people going to be disappointed? Are people not going to care, or will they care? It isn't, that doesn't matter. What matters is I chose to say yes in the first place. So therefore, my yes means yes and my no means no. And that's what it means to be a queen, to keep your word. All right. So it's an interesting thing because once I decided that, all right, I choose today, I'm going to show up. All right. I choose today, I'm going to show up. Well, my resolve got tested. And it got tested because when it was time for me to go take my shower, get all refreshed, do my hair, the whole thing, I was told, my husband told me, and I had forgotten this, that they shut the water off in our complex. I can't take a shower. I can't do my hair. I can't even wash my face or brush my teeth, right? So then the thought comes, well, maybe maybe I shouldn't do it. Like sometimes we see things as signs, and maybe that's a sign I shouldn't do it, right? Let your yay be yay and your nay be yay. Wait, let your nay be nay and your yay be yay. So I thought, no, somehow, some way, even if I got to show up in a do rag and I got to have my makeup smeared and I'm showing up. I don't care how I'm showing up. I'm gonna just show up. Well, then at that moment, you make a decision, and this is really what it happens a lot of times. When you make a decision and you resolve, and it's solid, whatever you need comes after it. The idea comes after it, the resource comes after it, a way comes through, right? So a lot of times we make decisions, we're trying to make a decision about, will I have the energy, the resources, the time, the joy, whatever it is, will I have it? Before I make this decision. But if you know that the decision is important and you have to make it, then you have to make it and then you have to keep it. So right after I decided, no, I'm showing up, whatever, guess what happens? An idea comes through. And the idea comes through in the form of my husband, bless his heart. And he says, would you like me to go to the store and get a few gallons of water? And maybe you can wash your hair in the sink and I will help you. Like, ah, my angel of mercy. Thank you, honey. Yes. And so while I couldn't take a shower, I could wash my face. I could wet my hair anyways. I could blow dry it. I could look somewhat presentable. I don't have to look like a homeless bum off the street. All right? Yes. So life is made up of a series of little decisions. And what I'd like you to do is to be more conscious of those decisions, conscious of the commitments you make. Okay? If you have a choice of whether you're going to make a commitment or not make a commitment, you have a choice about if you're going to do something or not do something. Okay? You get to choose that. But once you make it, keep it. And once you keep it and it's threatened or it's challenged in some way, keep it. And whatever you need to fulfill that commitment will manifest. All right? There's a little tip for you today. So, hello, everybody. Hey, Mindy. Yes, I'm glad your quotient has increased. Jen, keeping my word to myself is so important. You know, it's the most important thing. And I'm really doing this as much for me as I am for you guys. You know, I don't have to do it for God. God has given me everything. God doesn't need anything from me. God is always blessing me and giving to me. He's giving me opportunity. All right. So, this is what this is. This is an opportunity for me to grow, to put myself out there, to speak my truth and the truth that He's given to me. All right. You have an opportunity to show up. You can choose to do that or not do that. But we're all given these opportunities to grow and to manifest and to rise higher. So, keeping my word is important to me, and hopefully, it's important to you. No problem, Mindy. See you later. Okay. All right. So, you know, Jen, you've been coming on board pretty often. Can you maybe share with me what um, what has stood out for you or what has shifted for you as you have watched these, Jen Alice? I would love to know that. And Clara, the same for you too. You know, what has shifted for you guys as you have watched this? And anybody else watching the replay, like just put a note in there. What are you aware of? Awareness is huge, isn't it? But what are you aware of that has shifted for you? Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Clara. The decision is the most important part. Thank you for the reminder and opportunity for me too. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. So, all right. Yesterday, too, I made a little mistake. And so let me clear that up as well. Yesterday, I was speaking, I took a moment to do a little commercial break, and I was speaking about the woman who is ready for the Coalition of Queens. All right. And I realized that because of the significant investment, because of the mindset involved in it, the experience involved in it, some people are just not ready for it. And that's cool. That's cool. So I wanted to speak clearly to the woman who is ready, and that's what she looks like. All right, and I'll put that out there again another time. But I also said for you, if you're not quite ready, all right, if you're not quite ready, there's another option for you. And so I'm going to put in, hang on a second, let me get the link here. All right, hang on 1 minute. All right, I'm putting a link in here for you. Um, this is for my 30 Days to Abundance. It's a program. It's an immersion program where I actually teach you how to train your mindset, how to train and to resolve your limited beliefs. I give you step by step of how to just change the patterns in your brain. Okay, how to change the patterns in your brain. There's a method that I use, as well as how to use spirituality, your relationship with God, to change the patterns in your brain, which change the patterns in how you receive and abundance, how you show up in the world, what you do, what you don't do, your choices, all of that. All right. So 30 Days to Abundance is a video immersion program. And what you get with that is a 1 year let's say live grouping, a live group coaching program. All right. It's in my Love Empowered Success group. It's a private group. So the 30 Days to Abundance video series gives you the series itself, the teaching with downloadable PDFs. It's beautiful. I put a lot of time and energy and effort into it. right? Many people have got great success. And if you go to the page that I've got highlighted here, you can read more about it, what's included, what it costs, all of that. All right. So that's going to give you a year of access. Now, in the live coaching, I go in twice a month and I do live coaching. I teach and I do live coaching, business strategies, spiritual strategies, mindset strategies, abundance principles, how to do sales calls if you're in business, right? How to show up and be visible and attract the right people into your life, whether it's the guy of your dreams or your next client. All of that, I teach all that, and that is part of the Love Empowered Success coaching program. Okay, so 30 Days to Abundance is what you'll get, plus a whole year access of live coaching with me. So go to that website, it's loveempoweredsuccess.com/30 days. All right, loveempoweredsuccess.com /30 days. But if you are somebody who really thinks you're ready to work at an intense level, deeper level, and make some real progress and do some real breaking through in a shorter period of time with my help and my support and the support of other queens, then just PM me. Okay? Send me a private message. Let me know that you want more information, and then I will be right on it and we'll do some exchanging and see if a call is what we should do next. All right? Call together. Okay, great. Thank you for allowing me that. All right, cool. All right, thank you, Claire. I'm aware of how I show up to my gallery. I need to dress up and show up. I come in casually at times. Other times, I love dressing up. I dress for gallery or my studio. I can always change here too. Okay, cool. All right, so for you, this is helping you become more aware how you show up and how you want to show up. Ada says the of course energy was a game changer, a game shifter for me, isn't it? Yes, the of course energy. Claire says the abundance tracker. I remember I used it when you shared it some time ago and I loved it. Thank you for reminding us of this great tool again. Yeah, so if you want to start the abundance tracker all over again, Clara, then just go to freeabundancetracker.com, freeabundancetracker.com, and you can get back into the loop, all right, of the 30 days of abundance training. Okay, and that is a free resource, by the way. That's loveempoweredsuccess.com /abundance kit. That's what that one is. Loveempoweredsuccess.com / like I could do this / abundance kit. And that includes 30 days of emails where I remind you about focusing on abundance every day, some issues regarding that, how to stay on track. You get an abundance tracker you can download so you can keep track of the abundance that's coming in every day. And then there is also an instructional video, audio that goes with it. Okay, so let's recap a bit. On the first day, the issue we tackled was, why is it so important to see yourself a queen? Why does it even matter? Why does it even matter? And I'm just going to pick some highlights from each of these days. Because the problem is, many of us we don't know what to believe about ourselves. We have been given so many messages about who we are by all these people, by the world out there, by social media. We do a lot of comparing of ourselves to other people, right? So we are kind of wobbly about that. And if you're going to be a queen, well, you are a queen. If you're going to be a fully expressed queen, all right, and a ascending queen, a queen that's growing into who she really is. And one of the things that you have to become aware of is how you think about yourself. Okay? How you think about yourself. So, how you think about yourself is going to show up in your life all over the place, in every situation. It will inform what you're available for and what you're not. It's going to inform your choices and your decisions. It's going to show up in the quality of your relationships, in your health, how you treat your body. Yeah, how you treat your body. What's going on in your bank account? All right. What you think about yourself shows up in your bank account, and it shows up in how you manage money. How you manage money. It shows up in how you manage your time, right? Many of us want time freedom. We feel like we're pushed all over the map with responsibilities and pressures and uh, other people's agendas and things we have to do, like we don't have any choices of our own. How we think of ourselves, what we see, is going to affect your time freedom. It's going to affect your schedule. Yeah. Okay. So this is why it's so important. It affects everything. It's going to affect how you generate income, right? Whether some of you here have jobs. You're not business women. You're not coaches or consultants. You have jobs. And so it seems like you don't have a say. It seems like you don't have, you go to work, you do the job they tell you to do, you do it in the best possible way, you get your paycheck, and there is nothing else to think about that, right? But I want you to be thinking that if you're a queen, and you are a queen, a fully expressed queen, whether she's in a job or whether she's in her own business, knows that she has chosen to be there, that she has counted the cost and the benefits of what it is she has chosen. So if she's chosen to be in a profession, she's chosen to have a job, she's chosen to punch the clock, to do a 9 to 5, you have chosen that. Okay. Now, you might not have been that aware you've chosen that. You might think to yourself, oh, I wish I could do this instead, or I wish I could do that instead. But the truth of the matter is, you wish you could accomplish what their job is accomplishing for you more than those things that you wish otherwise, right? When we're making choices in life, it's because there's something inside that says, I have to do this. I choose to do this because the benefits that go along with this are more valuable to me than that. Okay. I was talking to this young man, and he's working in a job that, you know, pays okay, but every day he goes in there and he feels like he's trapped, like he's not supposed to be working at this particular location. So he started looking at other places to work. And he got accepted. He got another job, didn't hadn't taken it yet. But when he went for that other job, a lot of things looked really good about it. It looked like he was going to get more money. It looked like he was going to have a simpler um, uh, job function, that he was having less responsibility. They had a great system. Corporate was really established, where the other job was more like, willy nilly. Sometimes they'd call him in when on his day off. There were certain things, they were too lax. They didn't take care of things like they should have. But the thing that was really important to him was that in the current job, as much as it was kind of a pain, he had a lot of freedom. He had a lot of freedom. He had a lot of autonomy. He had a lot of flexibility in it, in ways where if he wanted to call in, he wasn't going to suffer too much. He was a highly valued employee. He could do that. Where the other job, even though it was more structured and it seemed to have all better bells and whistles, he compared the bells and whistles and realized that that would be like working in a straitjacket. So, what's important to you? For him, autonomy in the job that he had was more important to him than having a clear cut structure that the other job provided. All right. Nobody can decide this but you. But you need to know, what is it you're trading? Right? Now, I do know one of the things I love about being in business is because I can pretty much decide, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want my life to look this way, I want this kind of lifestyle, I want to do this kind of work at this time in this fashion. So it's sometimes hard, because in business for yourself, if you're the queen of your business, the responsibility is all on you to show up and to do the work. There's nobody that's breathing down your neck, you know? And so you have to be aware of what do I truly value, and then you can shape your business according to your values. And there's nothing like being in business for yourself that allows you to do that. But you have to be willing to be the person that generates the leads, be the person that is, you know, responsible for generating the income, for showing up, for the content that you write. There's so many things involved in it. Now, I will tell you, um, I've tried to do business like this without, I'm not saying I've never done it without God, but my conscious awareness of God and needing God and seeking God and communicating with God and dialoguing God and strategizing with God and being empowered by God is like everything to me. So I can choose how I want to do this. I have free reign, right? But I need the power, the energy, the joy, the love, the ideas that come from my God, from source, intelligent, infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom, right? So when you go into business and you combine that with your relationship with God and you know how to access his unlimited resources, then you can have a business that really is just perfect for you. Okay? So I don't know. I didn't plan on saying all that. I don't know if that is for somebody, but let me know. Thank you, Jen. I'm so much more aware of where I embrace myself as a queen and where I still need to. Very good. Accepting his favor fully, of course. Training to embody the attributes of a queen. Perfect. Beautiful. Yes, this is a process. We're all in various stages of evolution, right? But wherever you are, God's got more. And not more responsibility necessarily, though sometimes there's that. But if you get more responsibility, then you get more of the resources. You get more energy. You get more whatever it is you need in order to do more. You get more. All right. Yeah. So when we talk about what it means to be a queen and why it's important to be a queen, those are some of the reasons that we're talking about. And so one of the things we talked also about how we need favor. Queen Esther needed favor to transform her identity from orphan captive girl into the heroine that she became. The queen first. So she became a queen first, then she became a heroine, right? I think sometimes we're challenged to become a heroine before we understand our authority, our resources that we have as a queen, and who we are, and the favor that we have. So there's a progression here. Get favor. Now, when I say get favor, I don't mean go out and get favor. What I mean is receive it. It's already there for you. Learn more about it, appreciate it more, embrace it more, focus on it more, because you want to expand in your awareness and your receiving of favor. Okay. And then receiving of resources, expanding and receiving of resources. So enjoy yourself, enjoy the favor you've got, enjoy being a queen, receive more so you can expand. And then whatever comes up, whatever crisis, whatever change in events, whatever happens, COVID, COVID hasn't bothered me. And I want to say, except for, of course, you all, not all of you, but most of you know, my sister died of COVID in April. That was a horror, a horror. But the Lord had given me in a dream this amazing impartation so that when I woke up in the morning, I just didn't feel the grief that I went to bed with. I had another dream about her the other night, actually, so I could feel her presence. So she is still in my life. She's still around. I still feel her, right? But anyway, except for that happening, COVID hasn't really been that hard for me and my family. I work at home mostly anyway, right? But it wasn't because of that. It's because in 2016, the crisis that we faced when my husband was diagnosed with cancer, that was a crisis. This is nothing compared to that. All right. So in your life, I'm sure you've had crises. Maybe this is the worst crisis you've ever gone through, but I bet it isn't. I bet it isn't. But every crisis builds something within us and causes us to rise higher in our queenly status. It's the opportunity we have, right? Okay. Um all right. So, day 2, we talked about being a queen. A queen is a woman of purpose and destiny, and she takes that to heart. I don't know why I shared that first and foremost, but that's what was put on my heart to share first and foremost, that you are a person, you're a woman of purpose and destiny. And sometimes we feel like, again, we're being pushed and pulled all over the place, that we don't have any purpose, that we don't have a destiny, right? But when you really start pressing in, and I'm not saying like you got to strive to figure it out, but ask God. Just ask God and say, you know what? I know I'm a person of purpose and destiny. That's who you made me to be. I am open to receive what that looks like. I'm open to receive what that looks like. We talked about how I used to think that purpose and destiny and mission meant that you go out and you live in the middle of a jungle and you have a thatched roof hut and you have a dirt floor and you eat bugs all day while you preach the gospel, right? And because I had no interest in that, I felt a little guilty about that, like my faith must not be that strong. It's not for me. It never was for me. It's not how I'm built. Our purpose is pleasant. Our purpose is perfect for us. Misery does not glorify God, right? Misery does not glorify God. So those people who went out and did it, and I'll tell you, we supported a lot of missionaries. And partly it's because they would do things that I couldn't, that I wouldn't, right? And so we supported them. Um, but I realized over the years that my mission is in the marketplace. My mission is to help women to grow and to be who they're meant to be, to have what they're meant to have, and to be a force in this world for good. All right. And to come out of hiding. So that's my purpose. That's my mission, to activate the dreams that God has put in your heart and to lead you into financial freedom. That's my mission. And I'm clear about that. Now I embrace it. It took me a while, but I embrace it now. All right. What's your purpose? What is your purpose? If you know what your purpose is, write it in there. On the replay, if you're watching that, write it in there. Okay? All right. Day 3, we talked about a queen is resourceful. She has the of course energy. Not of course, if the shoe's going to drop, it's going to drop. If a bad thing's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. Of course, I'm not going to get that. Of course, my car is going to quit working on me. Of course, I'm not going to have enough money. There's a lot of those of courses we've got negatively. And so what happens? What manifests in our life, right? So let's have the of course energy that agrees with God, right? Um, of course, people want what I offer. Of course, I get to have more than enough money. Of course, my dreams are important. Of course, I get to have them fulfilled. Of course, I'm loved, respected, and appreciated. Of course I am. Of course you are. Okay, what else here? Anything left? We talked a little bit too about money being our God. And how does money show up as our God rather than as a tool, a resource, right? A tool in our hand, a tool that we have command and control over. Do you feel like you have command and control over money, over your money, over what money comes in and what money doesn't, over your spending, over your investing and your saving? Do you feel like you have control, or do you feel like money is whipping you around? All right? Money is just a tool. But when it dictates our actions, then it becomes a God. And we don't want money to be our God. We want God to be our God, right? So think about that a bit, okay? All right. Something else that I wanted to point out, and I didn't have the time to really talk about this on day 3. When we talked about a queen being resourceful, when Esther came into the palace, and another little reminder there, remember? She fulfilled her destiny in a palace, not in a grass hut, eating worms and, with the dirt floor. No, she fulfilled her purpose in a palace. So there's no corner market on fulfilling your purpose in some very uncomfortable situations, right? Now, she was put in a crisis situation, yes, but when she entered the palace, she was not a resourceful person. She was just, she had to be there. And she didn't really have a choice. She didn't have a choice. However, she was given a lot of favor. Do you know that she was chosen right off the bat by the head eunuch to have the 7 best handmaidens, the best food, and the best place to live, the best apartment? She was given favor right off the bat. There was something about her that had this radiance and this glow. All the women that were chosen were beautiful. All of them were. But there was something about Esther, something in her demeanor, something in her heart, something that she radiated that attracted this eunuch to her, and she was given all the best features, benefits. Well, then for a year, she, along with all the other queens, all the other potential queens, were given favor in their bathing, oils, clothing, training, and all of that. So she still is not developing certain resources and skills. She's still learning what it means to be a queen. She's still learning about favor. Okay. And then eventually she gets chosen. She gets chosen by the king to be the one. Out of all those beautiful women, she was chosen. And one of the things that he says to her every time she asks something of him, right, which he's always a little scared to do. When we're used to being orphan captive children or women who, have to do everything on our own or not used to getting things, we're not used to this. And the king said to her, "Whatever you ask is yours, Esther, up to half my kingdom." Now, his kingdom was vast. This was the most powerful man on earth. He was ruthless, and he just swept over the nations and conquered. So his empire was vast. And what he said to her was, "Up to half is yours." Right? Now, with God, you know what he's saying to us? Everything he has is ours. Carte blanche, everything he has is ours. So Esther needed this man to have favor with this man, to have favor with this ruthless king whose empire extended pretty much worldwide. All right. She needed favor. Why? Because at some point she was going to have to ask it of him to save the Jewish people. All right. That's why it's important for us to understand we have favor with God, but we have to also know that God gives us favor with mankind, also with people. So I've had women say to me, "I know I have favor with God. I know I have favor with God." All right. It's people I'm worried about. It's people that are hard for me. Jesus needed favor to go into the world and do what he did. Yeah, he had favor with the Father. He had downloads from the Father. He saw the Father. He acted with the Father, in alignment with the Father, right? However, in order for him to affect people, he had to have favor with people. Now, he had favor with a lot of people, but he didn't have favor with some. In fact, the people he didn't have favor with actually killed him. But he was okay with that because he had another plan. It was all part of the plan, not another plan, it was part of the plan, you know? So, for us to know that in order for us to accomplish our purposes, we don't need just favor with God. Well, we do need favor with God, but not just favor with God. We need favor with people also. All right. And that, how do we get that? We say, thank you. Thank you, God, that you have given me favor with others. Since I want to work with, my heart's desire, my passion, my purpose is to work with women and to help elevate them, help them activate their dreams and bring them into financial freedom, then the women that I am to work with, I need favor with them. So I have to say, thank you, God. Thank you, Lord, for the favor that you have given me with the right people, with the right women. And a lot of times we find this out by, they'll say something like, you resonate with me, right? That's favor. I heard what you said and it made a difference in my life. I want to learn more. That's favor, right? That's God working in and through us. I hope that makes sense to you. Clara says, my purpose is to bring healing and wellness for both the observer and myself through your art, right? My mission is to share my art with people who are on a journey to improve their overall well being. You know, that's really an interesting take. And I know that, Claire and I worked on this, but it was already in her heart. And those of you know, that's one of Claire's beautiful pieces of art right over there, that she made for me. But the thing is that Clara's purpose, and this is another great example, Clara's mission and purpose of helping people improve their overall well-being, she could do it through psychiatry, through counseling, through energy healing, through coaching. There's so many different ways that she could spread this message and do this work, improving the overall well-being of people. But her forte, her specialty is using her art to do it. Her art to do it. Her art is healing. When you look at her art, it brings this peace and this inner joy, and there's a healing aspect to it when you look at her art. Now, when a person is guided by their purpose, God takes their gifts. Her gift is in art. Takes their gift and molds it and uses it through the medium of the purpose is used through the medium of the gift. Right? You see that? Her purpose is through the medium of her gift. Okay? So you don't have to just do it one way. We can have very similar very similar callings, very similar. I want to make the world a better place. Okay, good. How? What is your specific take? What is your unique way of how you want to make the world a better place? What is the gifting and the skills that you have that are going to be the vehicle through which this happens? All right, we're all unique. So our own particular spin on things is very important when we are presenting our purpose and our passion into the world. And favor flows through that, and favor sets it all up for you. Okay, Ada, my mission is to share God's love through creativity and creative pursuits. Okay, cool. So, what kind of creativity? All right, what kind of creativity? Creativity can be technology. It can be through art. It can be through the written word. It can be through photography. It can be through the arts, the healing arts. There's all kinds of ways that creativity, because creativity is really um, finding that unique way to solve a problem that fits who you are, that fits your gifts and your talents. So What is specifically, how does God's love? Like, I love to share God's love too. Well, what are the various ways that I share God's love, right? Well, my coaching, one on one coaching, I'm constantly tapping into the love of God, my own love too, but the love of God is even more powerful. And asking for that to flow as I'm talking to my client so that I can get divine wisdom and downloads and I can hear intuitively in ways that I can't. It's all about showing love to that person. Okay. And through showing love, problems are solved, ideas, new creations, opportunities flow, all of that. Okay. So, what is it that, how you do it? When I speak, I always ask, when I speak, Lord, just let your love flow through this audience. I do this, I speak in a lot of secular audiences, not Christian audiences or faith based audience of anything like that. Mostly it's secular audiences. But I always ask God to let my words be containers of love that get dispensed out into my audience. That's another way to do it. So there's a lot of different ways that we can show God's love through our gifts, our talents, our words, our energy, all right? And really, Ada, you're so right on too. God's love, this is what the world needs more than anything right now. Yes, maybe forever. It always has. Okay, cool. All right, any more to add on that? A queen, some of the resources that a queen needs, and she knows how to access them: wisdom, divine wisdom. Remember, Solomon had amazing material wealth, and his kingdom was vast too. Amazing material wealth. But what did he ask God for? Wisdom. All right? Wisdom, because wisdom is really one of the number one keys to success. Wisdom. It's not just knowledge, it's not just information, it's knowing what to do with all that. And I like to tap into divine wisdom. Divine wisdom is the best, the best. So sitting still and asking, appropriating, hearing, listening, you got to take time to do that. I take time to do that. I have to build it into my schedule. Okay. But even when I'm faced with a crisis, like or a question or a solution I'm needing right at that moment, divine wisdom. Okay. So we know how to access divine wisdom. We know how to access financial resources. We've talked about that. Human resources, right? We have a queen has, and this is set an intention to have support around her. I've often said to my husband, I can't do what I do without you. He is such an amazing support to me. Besides his unconditional love, besides his desire for me to always be elevating and expanding and becoming more of who God made me to be, he wants that for me. All right. There's no control. There's no ego thing getting in the way here. I have carte blanche with my husband. I hope that for you too. But it's also an intention as well, right? This is who I am, and I need support. I don't demand support. I set the intention a while ago. I don't even think about it anymore. I just like receive it and appreciate it. So thank you, honey. Yes. Okay. Human support. And then opportunities. In order for you to accomplish your purposes, you need opportunities. Okay. And a lot of times, once we make a decision and a shift in our limiting beliefs to have a more empowered thought about it, a more empowered belief, opportunities arise, miracles happen, serendipity, people cross your path, opportunities just flood your, I don't want to say they flood your inbox, but they flood your sphere. They infiltrate, they show up. Because now, too, you have eyes to see where you might not have before. Hi, Miguel. Miguel says, I'm not a queen. How do you know? No, he says, I'm not a queen, but this is awesome content and insights. Thank you. I love you. I hope you're having a good day. Miguel is one of my star clients. Love him, love him. He's amazing. Has he been? He's been through many, many ringers, many crises, Talk about takes a licking and keeps on ticking, and he does it through the love of God. Yes. Clara says, you have the best husband. Yes, I do. My fiance gives me great support and accepts me too. Yes, he does. Yes. You know, I'm not going to get into it. That's a whole nother conversation that we could have about how to be a queen in your relationship without being an overbearing, demanding, controlling biatch. Huh, honey? You tell them. All right. And a queen lives in a state of abundance, no matter what the circumstances are. No matter what the circumstances are, we have to be people that pivot. Whatever the circumstances are, we have to come to the circumstances. We can learn to do this. We come to the circumstances with love in our heart, with the power of God in us, with the ability to tap into whatever internal resources we need. Okay? And to have the confidence that whatever we need to do in any given situation, we have what it takes. We have what we need. In fact, abundance says we have more than enough. I remember years ago, I was constantly working on schedules. I went to a time management seminar for 5 days, and it was led by Zen monks in downtown LA. And so these monks had a system of scheduling, and my life lived I lived by schedules. Everything was scheduled. I had appointments, I had things I had to accomplish. I was packed. So I wanted to learn a more efficient way to get things done. So they gave us this incredible system and this massive day timer and all these tabs and color coding. And so we had to learn all of this. When I left there, I was so confused that I picked a few things up that I was going to keep, but it was way too complicated. It was way too complicated. I've tried so many different kinds of systems for time management. And then when I was homeschooling my kids and they had different schedules and we had to accomplish certain things by certain times, I was a maniac about scheduling. Well, because of that, I often didn't want to have people come over because that meant I have to add into the household the cleaning and the this and the refreshments and the that. And I would get overwhelmed. On top of it, I was managing my husband's business and I was coaching and counseling in the church community. So I would get completely undone and frozen sometimes, or say no to everything because I just couldn't take it. Well, one day, God spoke to me and he reminded me. Well, it was actually the first time I heard this. I've been reminded many times since then. But it was, Marianne, when I said that I came to give life and more abundantly, I also meant time. And I thought, wait a minute. We still only have 24 hours. And I heard God say, yeah, that's more than enough. 24 hours is more than enough. And if you're trying to cram more into 24 hours than you should, because it doesn't contain 24 hours, you can't do all that in 24 hours, then something has to go. Some things have got to go. You have got to learn how to say no, to prioritize, and rest. And rest, because in your schedule, you need an abundance of rest, even if you have all these responsibilities. So I started to think every time I started to feel that little bit of panic inside because of time, not having enough time. I don't have enough time to get this done. I don't have enough time. And that's what my mantra was. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Ever feel that way? Ever think that? Anybody here, or is this just me? Right? When you start to become aware of that, stop and say, I have an abundance of time. I have an abundance of time. Breathe. I have an abundance of time. Whatever I really need to get done is going to get done. I have an abundance of time. just sitting in that place for 30 seconds, it's going to help you to get done what you need to get done because you'll be less scattered, you'll be more focused, you'll feel freer in your heart and in your mind and in your body, right? And then when you plan your schedule and you put things in the slots, give yourself plenty of room and get rid of some stuff. Okay? All right. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Yes, you've known me a long time. All right. Okay. Wow, I've gone longer today. I thought this was going to be actually a shorter call. All right. Next week, I'm going to continue. There, I said it. There, I said it. Whoever wants to show up, all right. But you know what we're going to talk about next week? Something I've struggled with, and that is knowing when accommodating is getting in the way of my rising to the next level. I have tended to be an over accommodator. I grew up that way. It was necessary in my family for me to be the peacemaker and to do what it was, what needed to be done. And so I was not allowed, none of us were really allowed to have our own needs and our own desires because it was always like something was necessary. All right, we had a big family and something was necessary. So I learned a habit of accommodating that sometimes was not healthy, that sometimes wasn't good for me or the people I'm working with. So we're going to talk about being an accommodator, what that looks like, what's healthy, what's not, and how you can choose the kind of accommodator that you want to be, because being accommodating is not necessarily a bad thing. All right. So we'll kind of talk about that. And don't forget, if you want to go to loveempoweredsuccess.com/30 days, check out the 30-day program, 30 Days to Abundance, video immersion series, and you get a year access to my live coaching group. All right. And in that group, we talk about all kinds of up leveling mindset, spiritually rich. It's not like going to church, all right, because we incorporate neuroscience and quantum physics, spirituality, along with your purpose and your business activities or your profession, depending on what situation you're in. Okay? All right, ladies. Good to see you again. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Adios.